Now, we have a couple of different kinds, all right? So if we're talking about a number, all right, a number expression, all right, and again, remember, that's another way to say math problem. If we're looking for a number math problem, then that's just something you're probably used to seeing, all right? 4 plus 6, that's a number expression, okay? 10 divided by 2, that's a number expression. 4 times 3. That's another number expression. It's a math problem that only uses numbers. And you've seen a bunches of those in your years past. Now, we get over here to this other column and we got variable expression. So what we're saying here is we're going to look for a math problem, but it has to have a letter. So we got things like a plus 4. All right, or we might see something like 3 times y, which we could represent that as 3y, because in mathematics, anytime a number and a variable are side by side, that is an automatic multiplication sign. We don't write it, but we could. And again, please remember, another way to represent multiplication is also with just a dot. We don't have to use that traditional X that a lot of you have used to using in the past. So that leads us into the next question. Can we have two variables side by side? Absolutely. All right. And again, what we're representing here is the math problem H times F. Automatically implied when two variables are side by side. No time sign required, no dot required. We just need to get in the habit of acknowledging that that means multiplication. Okay. And we're going to spend a lot of time on variable expressions this year, because part of this as a seventh grader is pre-algebra. All right. And so we've got to get you ready for algebra, which basically means we've got to get you ready to see math problems with letters in them. Okay. So what do? Well, when we see variable expressions, we're going to do multiple things this year. But one of the things we're going to do is just start to introduce math problems that have variables in them. And the expectation is you can work that problem out. All right. So here we're giving you the math problem ABC. But we know in our world, okay, that means A times B times C. Now, what are we going to use? Well, up at the top, you notice we have given you some information. So through substitution, we're going to replace our A, replace our B, and we're going to replace our C. Okay? And since they're all right next to each other, that basically means we need to work out the problem 12 times 8 times 3. Okay? And so you don't have to watch a long video. I will leave that up to you to take care of on your own. If we look down here below that, we have another example we can look at. And again, simple substitution. We know that A's for this particular set is going to count as a 12. We know that the B's for this particular set are going to count as an 8. Well, what are we doing here? Well, again, acknowledge they are right beside each other. So that tells us we should be using multiplication. And then below the bar, we have a C, which we now know is a 3. So again, may take you through a little bit of this. 12 times 8. (96). We have a 3. So what's this bar all about? Okay, and again, hopefully we can acknowledge from our long division that that is just another way to represent divide. So our final step here, and I'll leave this again, so you don't have to watch an extra long video, is you will need to be able to work out 96 divided by 3. So you can have your long division or mental math at your disposal. Okay. And again, when we talk about our expressions, what we need to acknowledge is that not all the time are we going to be working in that nice, perfect world of whole numbers. Decimals are part of the game. So we need to be ready to handle those as well. Okay. So we can see we have our little math problem written here for us. Okay. Our variable expression is GH minus F. So through substitution, we know that the first number in this problem is going to be a 4.8. We also know the second value of this problem is going to be a 3.2. Now, again, what are we supposed to do with these two numbers? Well, these are right next to each other, so we know that that's an automatic multiplication. Again, we can represent that with a dot, or we can represent multiplication this way. All right, this just tells us 4.8